Hello guys, I hope you all are doing good. I am Vishali Kikan and we are discussing the VLSI technology. In that we are discussing the etching. So I hope you all have seen the previous videos on the etching and now we have come to the end of this video. So now we are discussing the conclusion on various types of etching process, various things related to the etching, various advanced concepts that we have discussed about the etching. So this is a conclusion video. I hope you all are watching this video after watching all of the previous videos, and I hope you all are watching this video with utmost attention. So after watching this video you will be getting a lot of new information and you will be feeling that yes, I know etching process in a great detail. So now coming to the etch safety. So we have discussed about the various types of etching, the various equipments related to the etching. So now coming to the etching safety. So I have already told you that we are using various corrosive and toxic gases like Cl2, BCl3, SiF4 and HBr. So if someone is inhaling that gas at a very high concentration, it could be fatal. So this is the reason we should have a very high safety standards associated with the etching equipments also. So whenever I am using etching equipment, so that time I have to particularly observe the various security standards associated with it. Okay, otherwise there could be some fatalities which might occur. And if I am using any of the harmful gas, then I have to give my utmost attention towards using it and handling it. So again I am using the RF power, it can cause the electric shock. So whenever I am using the RF power, I have to be very attentive. Can be lethal at high power as well. So now coming to the etch safety, we have various moving parts which are the mechanical hazards. We have already discussed the chemical hazards in the previous slide. Now we have the moving parts which are the mechanical hazards. It may cause injury if one is not clear about their usage and one is not attentive. So we have the lockout and the tag out also present here, which will be giving me the mechanical hazard. Okay, so this could be lethal. Now coming to the RF power. If I am increasing the RF power, ion density will increase. I have already told you we have the knob which controls the RF power, which increases the ion bombardment energy. If I am increasing the RF power, also the number of free radicals will be increased if I am increasing the RF power. Okay, then if I have more free radicals, if I have more ion bombardment energy, the etch rate will be very high. Okay, it is the most important knob that controls the etch rate, but it can give you shock as well. So we have to check the RF system first if etch rate is out of specifications. Okay, so the RF knob, I can say it is the most important knob in the etching process. So you can see here, if I increase the RF power, the etch rate will be linearly increasing. Okay, if I increase the RF power, the selectivity will be decreasing. So ions doesn't know which material it is hitting. Either it is hitting the silicon dioxide or it is hitting the silicon substrate. It does not know. It will be hitting any one of them and it will be removing it. Okay, so the plasma etching will be removing the underneath layer. Okay, so it does not know which layer it is, so it will be decreasing the selectivity. So now coming to the pressure, I have already talked about pressure. Sometimes we require low pressure, but a lot of times high pressure is desirable because pressure is affecting plasma density as well as shape. Okay, so we should have a very uniform type of plasma pressure present there, and also we should control the effects. The pressure has very strong effects, and to control the effects we should maintain the pressure. Okay, so the pressure should be highly maintained. You can see if I increase the pressure, so whenever I am increasing the pressure, I will be having the more ion energy, more ion bombardment, more ion collisions, so I will be having more physical type of etching. Okay, so if I am decreasing the pressure, then we will be having the more chemical type of etching. Okay, so if I am increasing the magnetic field. So if I am increasing the magnetic field, so the first we will be having more of physical etching, then we will be moving towards the chemical etching. Okay, so if I am increasing the RF power means we are increasing, we are moving towards the physical etching. So I hope now you understood about the etch trends. So now coming to the future trends, we require high density plasma at low pressure. For that I have already told you we can use the ICP, ECR or Helicon system. Okay, so it can be, if I am using the high density plasma system, it can be used to improve the profile control, to increase the plasma density for the ion bombardment flux control as well. Okay, so independent ion flux and ion energy control can be required in the future, and that we have to work upon. High density plasma etchers in the IC processing are ICP and ECR. We have already discussed about them. So if I have Helicon plasma source, Helicon plasma source is giving me 100% ionization, and we have to work upon it as a future candidate. Now this is the Helicon plasma source. So here we have the magnetic coils present, here we have the antenna present, here we have the source RF. Due to the magnetic field, magnetic coils, we have the magnetic field, and this is the magnetic line of force we have. Okay, so here we are using the electronic chunk, and we have the bias RF also to provide the ion bombardment energy. Okay, so from the plasma the ions will be hitting the wafer, and this is how the etching will be performed. So in the future we have to work upon 300 mm system. We had already worked upon this system. It is just about the things that is given in the books. So we have already come up to this point, but you don't have enough knowledge till now to understand this. So in future you might be working upon the VLSI technology, and you will be understanding how it can be applied on the 300 mm systems. We should understand about the plasma uniformity control in future, and also plasma position control as well. Now coming to the copper etch. Okay, so here we are using chlorine as the etchant. We are using low pressure, which is lesser than 5 millitorr, and high temperature, which is greater than 250 degrees Celsius. It cannot use the photoresist. Okay, so here if I am not using photoresist to make the mask, then what I can do, I can use the chemical vapor deposition of oxide to make the hard mask. I will be making the oxide hard mask. Okay, so this oxide mask will be preventing the layer beneath it, and the layer which is exposed, it can be removed with the help of chlorine. So we will be having the competition with the dual Damascene process, and this is the reason it can be very unlikely to use the copper etching in the IC production. Okay, so you can see here the direct hard masking photolithography. Okay, here we have the photoresist present on the substrate. So this is the silicon, and this is the photoresist layer. Okay, so then we have the exposure. So we have the partially exposure with the help of UV light, and I am using the mask over here. Okay, so we are having the partial oxidation also of the silicon photoresist. Okay, so here we will be using the chlorine plasma to remove the unexposed silicon photoresist layer. Okay, so this photoresist layer can be removed with the help of chlorine. Then we are using the oxygen to fully oxidation, for the fully oxidation of the silicon photoresist, and this is how we are making the hard mask of the photoresist. Now in the future trends, the challenges are with the high dielectric constant material, with the which we use with the gate, and the capacitor dielectric. Okay, so we have the challenges with etching of low dielectric material of intermetal dielectric. So now coming to the summary, plasma etching is a widely used technique for the pattern etch process to transfer image on the photoresist to surface material. So we use the photolithography process to etch out the underneath layer. Okay, photoresist will be protecting the underneath layer, and the exposed part will be etched out with the help of etching process. Okay, so we have discussed epitaxial polysilicon oxide and the metal etching. We are using fluorine for the oxide etch, hydrogen bromide for the single crystal silicon etch, chlorine for polysilicon and metal etch. We have discussed about certain vacuum and constant RF power which is required for striking and for maintaining a stable plasma also. So these all things are the condition that is required for the etching purposes. RF power is the main knob to control the etch rate. Pressure affects uniformity as well as the etch profile. High plasma density at low pressure are desired for the etch out of deep submicron features, and if I am using the dry chemical etching, it can be achieved with the help of remote plasma sources. So these are the references. I hope you understood each and everything that I have discussed in this video. So if you have any doubt, you can refer these books or you can put the doubt in the comment, and I will be trying to resolve your doubt as soon as possible. I tried my best to cover the etching in detail as much as I can, but because of the time constraint, because it is only one-way communication, I may not be able to explain all of the things in great detail. So if you want to discuss about any topic in detail, you can mail me or you can put any doubt in the comment. I will be trying to revert you. Okay, so I hope you like this session. If you like it, please push the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also do share it with your friends. Thank you so much.